530 Grid. And if we go again to mastermind-seminars.org /live, you're going to see in the lower left-hand corner of that front page, it says full fourfold. So the segment that we are on right now is going to be Box 5. Box 5, which is going to be, Box 11, which is going to be the 530 Grid. The 530 Grid. And again, this is a DNA for business, and this is going to help us understand how, now that we are understanding who we're talking to, now we need to understand how to take somebody kind of down the path that we're talking to, whether it's a client, whether it's a relationship, whether it's people that are in a not-for-profit group, whatever that is, help them take it to the next level. And we also have another special guest speaker today is Brandon. I'm so excited to have Brandon on. Brandon, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, this is your first time actually presenting, is that right?
This is my second time. I went to
Chicago.
Second
time? Yeah, that's right. You did that here, and so that's pretty exciting. It's your second time, and we're excited. We're excited to have you do the DNA for business, the 530 Grid, and help us understand how that integrates into the value of installing systems. Go ahead, buddy.
Thank you. Like Kevin said, I work at Tanglewood, and I also help build the conservatories. And it was last year when I started, and I was getting interested into the whole integrity leadership. And I talked to Mark, and so I've done the natural laws. This is my first time with the 530 Grid, so I'm still learning myself as well. So, but with the 530 Grid, it works for any company in any industry, anywhere in the world. It also works with nonprofit and community-based organizations as well. So with that, there are 5 areas with the 530 Grid. With Area 1, there's marketing. Area 2, there's pre-sales. Area 3 is the sale. Area 4 is servicing. And Area 5 is client for life. Within those 5 areas, there are 6 major important steps, also known as the Golden Triangle. Within the Area 1, you want to identify your target. With identifying your target, it helps know who you're going after and who you're trying to sell to. And the next step would be develop and deliver a message. You would, with that, you want to bring your target in with an important message that will catch their attention. Also with that, that'd be a good step knowing the personalities. That way you know who you're talking to and who you're trying to sell to. With the next step, there is tracking your leads. I don't know much about that. If you could help me with that, Kevin?
Right. Okay. So when we're talking about tracking the leads, you've got to have some kind of a system in place in order to track 100% of the leads, whether it's a yes, whether it's a no, whether it's I got to talk with you in 3 months. So if we've got the identifying targets and we now developed and delivered a message, tracking the leads is going to be extremely important. And this is where a lot of people fall down. They can identify who they want to talk to. They even develop and deliver a message. But the lead tracking, that's the thing that kind of falls through the cracks. The issue with that is that if the average person closes 10%, that means that if they have 100 leads, they're going to sell 10. Well, the issue is we're not getting paid on the other 90. We're not getting paid for 90% of the work that we do. So by tracking 100% of the leads, we can actually increase our closing ratio with obviously not just the 530 Grid, but by tracking 100% of the leads and then understanding the personalities and putting that together in a message. And then the next step would be, of course, asking key questions, which is box 4. And once we're asking key questions, now we're understanding, we can close a lot more business. And the value of installing the system, just the first 3 boxes, the first 4 boxes here, is going to be key for you to understand how the whole system, the whole 530 grid works. Asking key questions is very important, and that's going to be different depending upon who we talk to. Does that help, Brendan?
Yes, that helps. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're doing great.
Well, after asking key questions, you're going to want to implement the 10 strategic strike. That is going back and going over, what is it, the messages?
It's touching the person 10 times, because you're not going to make the sale on your very first touch. So it typically takes 10 plus touches to make the sale.
With after you touch the person 10 plus times, you would group your people in messages. With grouping people in messages would help you make the sale and create a lifelong profitable relationship. Right. And then there's another important step known as feeding successes into box 1, 2, and 3, which is also known as magic seeds. A magic seed is when you go to the customers or whoever you're making a sale, and they give you something about, like for us, the Tanglewood, we make conservatories. So we get magic seeds from different homeowners because they love the building that they're in. So they are giving us information on how much that room means to them. So that helps make better sales, and we can use examples throughout our sales. And with knowing all of that and trusting integrity of the system can help make sales better.
Okay, good deal. So, Brandon, let me ask you a question. Now that we're seeing the 530 grid here, we're seeing how important it is to identify targets and move through the entire system, developing, delivering a message, tracking 100% of the leads, asking key questions, implementing a 10-plus strategic strike, and grouping people in messages. Then once we have that, we have our successes. We feed that not only into servicing, but right back into developing and delivering a message. And that's really important that we do that. So how important then is it, in your opinion, in your ideas now that you've seen this, that you've looked at this, how is the 530 grid going to help people understand the value of installing systems in their business and help them make money?
He's sitting here with his asking me to answer this for him. If you have the steps of the 530 grid already laid out for you, to me that's your system, and you have your base. So if you follow that, you can't go wrong, in my opinion.
Right, and it's so key that once we have that goal, what we call the golden triangle, which is the first 6 boxes, again, that is going to be really key for us to understand. It's identifying the targets, developing the message, tracking 100% of the leads, asking key questions, and moving into the strategic strike and grouping the people in messages. See, that's just the first step. That's the first step of the system that's even bigger. And that is going to help people. I hope people that are online, that are watching this, everybody that's looking at this, is seeing how the marketing in your business and how important it is to identify targets. What are the targets that you're looking at? It's really more and better leads. And that's really key, because then when we go to the pre-sales, it moves these leads to a conversion. They're moving them down the conversion. We haven't got the sale yet, but once we get to area 3, which is the sale, It's the yes or the no, the yes or the no. But see, if we don't know how to take people down that path and we don't know who we're talking to and how fast or slow we should go based on personalities, the system that we have is, we're just going to be kind of hit and miss. So maybe it'd be a good idea in terms of installing systems to pay close attention to the first 6 boxes and looking back on your own business and saying, who are the most successful business partners that you have? And who are these targets? Can we actually identify who the most important targets that you have, that are the best clients that you have? What is developing and delivering a message to them look like? Maybe it's even picking up the phone and saying, hey, what brought you on board and what has kept you on board with my business? And being able to track all of those leads, now it makes important sense. Now you're helping them develop a system. It's a system you can share with your clients. Now you have a strategic partner, which we do an entire segment on. We do an entire 90 minutes, and that's in the future here. But it's important to realize is that when you feed successes into the system here and asking key questions, is that you're developing profitable partners. And you do this with each one of your of the sales that you're making, each one of the relationships that you're making, each one of the not-for-profit groups that you're doing. Again, it's the same system. And the system itself is absolutely amazing. Again, it's just a few minutes to look at it and realizing that there's 6 steps to get there, but realizing that this is going to be a lifetime of mastery and helping us develop systems that help us make more money, do it in less time, do it with less stress, and have a better life balance. So, Brandon, great job. Really appreciate you doing that.